Hey guys, Captain Foley back, and it is Friday. It is time for another Eaglemoss product review. Today we're going to be looking at a strange one that we haven't really looked at on Trekyards yet, although we've had a lot of requests to do so. It is a strange ship indeed, for multiple reasons. But it is the Yeager class, which is right here. It is kind of a merging of an Intrepid class and a Maquis Raider, and that's literally what it is, even in universe. So the USS Yeager, NCC 65674, got a few little specs on the front here. Type light cruiser, launched 2370s, length 402.11 meters, max speed warp 9.55. So there you go. A lot of people are fans of this ship. A lot of people despise this ship. I'm not a huge fan of this design. It is quite unique in its approach, and both in universe and just how this came to be a thing. So, like I said, it's unique. We're going to take a look at it right now. Get into the magazine here. Open it up. As always, you got the standard slotting it on the base diagram there, which is very cool. Over here, you've got the specifications and a cool shot of it from the front. It is rather cool looking from the front, I gotta say. Those down stretched wings, very reminiscent of like a bird of prey from the front. Just saying. And down here you got some specifications as well. Type light cruiser, launched 2370s, length 402.11 meters, crew 204, top speed warp 9.55, weaponry, phaser emitters, and photon torpedoes. So nothing new, shocking, or amazing there. Here you got some close-up shots of the different parts of the CG model that they used for the Eaglemoss rendition, the ship that we're going to take a look at. So you got some close-up shots of it there. Open it up, we got the USS Yeager NCC 65674 right there. And the Yeager was hastily built in response to the threat posed by the Dominion and helped to defend Deep Space Nine. So this thing was hobbled together from Intrepid parts, uncompleted Intrepid class starships, and Maquis Raiders to have basically just married a Maquis Raider onto the bottom of a Intrepid primary hull there. Now, the reason this is a bit of an issue, and we need to talk about this on Trekyards at some point for sure, because it is kind of an issue, is the fact that the Maquis Raider is not really that big. So the ship had to be upscaled to do this. It's not like they took existing Maquis Raiders and just, you know, married them onto Intrepid class hulls. That would have been very cool. That's the in-universe story. But the sizes and dimensions don't really work out like that, and it's kind of disconcerting, to say the least, that they've done that. The real reason is Gary Hutzel, a good friend of Doug Drexler, actually used two available model kits, which I have both downstairs, the Maquis Raider and the Intrepid class kits from AMT, and just put the two together and merged them together to make this as a background ship. You often see it in the background defending Deep Space Nine and things like that. Just and in the Dominion war battles, you see them. So, very cool idea, but I don't think sizes and everything work out, and it's just kind of odd because, like I said, we need to do a Trekyards episode talking about it. So that's this page of the book. You get some history there of how it was cobbled together for Starfleet. Here you got a great shot of it in orbit. And it is a unique ship. There's lots of different, you know, textures and things going on, which is kind of neat. Kind of different than the standard Federation designs. Over here you got the Sabre class and the Maquis Raiders and things like that. Another variant of the Intrepid class could just about be made out above the Klingon ships in this picture. This version combined the saucer from the Intrepid class with the nacelles of a Miranda class. So some different variations of weird ships going on for the Dominion War, which when you use it in universe, and you know they need ships, they need the firepower, it makes sense. But I don't know. Going to this next page, you get a great orthographic shot of it, and the top looks rather unique and interesting. I do like the top look. The front and the back again look very cool, very much like a bird of prey though, like a Federation bird of prey almost. The side. not a huge fan of it from the side, but you know, it is what it is, and definitely a unique piece in the Star Trek universe. Yeah, here it is here. Building the USS Yeager. Visual effects supervisor Gary Hutzel kit bashed the Yeager from parts taken from model kits of the USS Voyager and the Maquis Raider. And since those aren't to scale of each other model kit wise, the Maquis Raider is upscaled quite substantially. So in universe, it doesn't make sense for the Maquis Raider body to be fitted to the bottom of the Intrepid class unless there's different sizes of Maquis Raiders, which we've talked about a few times on Trekyards. Same with the Bird of Prey. To upscale it from the small bird of prey that holds a dozen officers and men to the larger great birds or whatever that you see in FASA and actually in canon on screen, it doesn't make sense to just take a standard ship design and just upscale it, you know, just without making major changes. So kind of an odd choice, but what? Yeah, we're ship guys, we kind of nitpicky, so I apologize. But here's some different shots of the actual filming miniature, and yeah, it is really neat, just the design history of it. Move on, it talks about Deep Space Nine just in general. It's actually Hans Bemler talking about it. Different pictures of the crew and, you know, adversaries. So it basically turns into a DS9 discussion piece because there's not a lot of information on the ship. Talks about key appearances here. The first appearance was in Dr. Bashir, I presume, Deep Space Nine, and in the cards as well. It has a good write up on it. So on the back we got the standard Eaglemoss flare of it from the top. Again, a cool looking little ship, but really odd, and the back doesn't seem long enough for the ship, you know. I could just be nitpicky. Probably am, but there you go. That's what it is. And so now we're going to move on and take a look at the actual model itself and, you know, look at what we're here to see, and that's the Eaglemoss model of this design. So let's take a look. So here it is in the packaging. Standard Eaglemoss packaging. Star Trek. We're just going to take it out. And here it is. It is a tiny ship, about the size, well, a little bit smaller than my hand actually. And I think a lot of the same things kind of went on with Eaglemoss as did with the actual filming miniature. I think they probably used their parts and just sliced them up and stuff. But you can see like the cut mark there where the Intrepid hull was basically cut and then slapped onto the Maquis Raider, which is just like the full ship underneath. Kind of a very quick kit bash. Anyway, looking at this model, we got some interesting or nice detailing. I think the registry looks really good. There's no texturing, no Aztecing, no paneling. It's just a standard gray surface. Windows look okay. No real misalignment issues because there's no indentations, which is good. The phaser strips are a little bit of a lighter gray than we usually see with phaser strips. The front deflector has very little detail. There's no coloration in the dish part itself, which is okay. Going to the bottom, the registry is a little bit harder to read. It is quite small. And very lacking in detail on the bottom of the saucer there. You can see the aero shuttle there parked in there, which is cool. And again, a very light coloring. All the colors are very light. Light gray, light blue. Yeah, it just doesn't pop as much as the Intrepids do. Flipping it back over, you got the standard Intrepid bridge detailing, and same with the stripe along the back. It is basically just an Intrepid class ship. There's no real changes made to the primary hull at all. And moving towards the back, again, like I said, lots of little greeblies and raised parts on the Maquis Raider. It's designed to be a smaller ship, so the detail level's pretty high. You can see Lots of different colors and little raised portions. It actually looks pretty impressive, to be fair. Really cool coloring as well. The gold with the light blue and gray is kind of interesting. Moving to the struts, a lot of good vent detailing there. Got these little guns or emitters of some sort there at the front as well. They're colored gold. Moving down here to the nacelle, you've got typical NX, or not NX, Voyager style nacelle mounted on the end of these pylons with what appear to be guns above them, and the registry emblazoned on the side there, which is very cool. Again, these are clear, so when you hold them up to a light, you get a good glow from behind them, which is really nice. Moving to the back, you've got little photon torpedo launchers there, which is a nice touch. Those are pretty big. They're not impulse engines, but because it was based on the Maquis Raider design, which is a smaller ship, they appear to be pretty big, which is fine. You got the registry on the side at the back as well. Flipping it over on the bottom, and it's the standard Maquis Raider there. So you got that ship, but very little detail on the bottom. There are a lot of panels and things that you can see etched in. However, it's all painted one color, which is that light blue, bluish gray. It's hard to really say what it is, but you got the robin's egg blue as well for details and stuff like that. So I don't know how I feel about this ship. I mean, the more I look at it and hold it, the more I like it, actually. And on flybys in 3D, if you do some flybys and stuff, you get some really cool angles. And again, it's one of those situations where actually holding the physical miniature makes you appreciate the ship design a lot more, and that's definitely the case for me in this one. I just wish there was more care taken to kind of merge the two, and kind of hide some of the other features of the Maquis Raider. Would have been nice instead of just a simple slap together kit bash. Not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not something that I prefer. But it's very much like, it feels like a Mirror Universe type of Terran ship that they had to cobble together. Again, this is how Voyager maybe should have looked after its return to Earth, using enemy ships that it finds along the way to use as repairs for itself. It would have actually been cool to have this ship and the Maquis ship at the beginning of Voyager, the Encounter of the Caretaker, both get damaged and have to cobble themselves together to form this ship to get back home, which would have also been a neat aspect and a neat way to do it, which would have made a lot of sense, to be fair. However, that being said, again, the sizes don't match up, so that's one of the reasons I don't think they did that for Voyager. I do like the Intrepid class design, but this is kind of a neat take on it as well, and I do like the uniqueness and the thinking that went into just cobbling two ships together because you needed ships quickly. So that's very cool. So anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, so it's time to take it and put it over on the stand, take a look at it, and see how it looks over there, and wrap this video up. So let's head on over there, guys. Now, with the cool, it looks good from some angles, it really does. Alright guys, here she is over on the stand, and the stand is super awesome on this one. It slots in very tightly and it just fits so beautifully. It doesn't obscure any of the ship. So kudos to them for the stand on this one. You guys get to see it in some of its detail here as it does a pass by. But yeah, a very unique piece of Star Trek history, to be sure. We do need to do an episode on it in Trekyards. Many people have asked for it. But yeah, and it is actually growing on me. It is a unique design, kind of like it seems almost Klingon in nature, a Klingon Federation merging. So that's very cool. If you put it on a low shelf, it looks great. Got a lot of dimensionality, lots of great surface details that really pop. So that works. Putting it on a eye level shelf, and again, you get some really cool shots of it. If you really appreciate this design, it's one that looks good on an eye level shelf for sure, because as you can see, as it rotates, you get different views of it and different angles. Like, that angle looks so good. So I'm actually developing a good appreciation for this ship. There you can see the light behind it, behind the nacelle, making it glow. You can see the peg holes, but that's okay. That's pretty typical. And again, the way that stand is incorporated hides very little of the ship. It's not like the stands that obscure most of the secondary hull of the other Federation ships. So I'm putting it on a higher shelf. Again, very cool views of it. Like stuff like that coming at you. So it works on all the shelf levels. That's actually a really cool shot. I do like that. So I'm really starting to appreciate this thing. There you go, guys. If you want to pick this one up or any other Eaglemoss ships, by all means, click the link in the description below. That takes you over to the Eaglemoss site. Fill your cart with a bunch of stuff, and on checkout, use the discount code Trekyards to save yourself some money. It's a great way to support the channel and get yourself some cool stuff in the meantime. So, I guess that's it for this episode on the USS Yeager, or the Yeager class. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels and check out other videos by us as well, and I will see you guys in the future. It's Captain Foley signing off. Bye-bye.